Everybody, welcome. I have a wonderful medical intuitive that's quite unique coming on with me today. He's starting a few things out, and I want to highlight his work. Patrice Krysztofiak. He lives in France sometimes, and he lives in Portugal sometimes. Right now, he's in France, and so his voice is very exotic. He just told me he was going to try and use his American accent, so that'll be entertaining. I'm looking forward to that. So, Patrice, I would love for you to just go ahead and give some background. I am specifically interested in your bio. You went through a dark night of the soul, and you were desperate for peace of mind, absolutely desperate. And the step you decided to move into was meditation. And so that's what brought you peace of mind. And I know there were steps and stages. His bio is going to be in the show notes, along with all of his links. So you don't have to bother writing anything down. It'll be in the show notes. So please tell us who you are and leave nothing out.
Hello, Debra. Thank you for having me on your channel. Well, so I'm Patrice. I used to be a computer programmer, and then I was building websites. And in 2019, I built a website that was a dentist directory in France, and I got sued for it. I got sued because it was not respecting the regulation. It's very, very difficult with the healthcare to make websites in Europe because there's so many regulations, and I got sued. At the same time, my mom passed away. I was really desperate because actually with the lawsuit going on, I went to the police because there is like investigation. It's a specific protocol in France. You have to go through the police before you get sued. It's just how it works. And for a website, if you make a mistake in France, you could risk a fine of 3 years of jail and $300,000 fine. What I did not realize is that it is the maximum for people who really commit very bad crimes, which was not really my case. But I did not know anything about the law because it was the first time in my life I was even having a ticket. And I was so desperate because I was like, oh my God, I'm risking jail. I'm risking this huge fine. What am I going to do? And I was completely desperate. I reached a point, I was such at a low point. Every night I would go to bed hoping not to wake up the next morning, and that lasted for nearly a year. And that was very, very sad. And I was very, very stressed. My guitar teacher asked me to try meditation to calm me down because I was like in a state of depression that was really intense. I did not know what to do. And I started meditation, and I found a French app. And there was a meditation that was called Monkey Mind. And after a few months of practicing, I entered into the light for 20 seconds, and I was laughing so hard and was in a full state. It was pure bliss. I was laughing, and my wife was, "What's going on with you? You're like, did you take some substances or something?" But we don't do substances. It's very hard to get in France, so we don't do. And that was it. And that's when we decided to get a change of scenario because we just could not stay here. It was like a lion in a cage, turning and turning and turning around. And we decided to go to Portugal. And I was 50 years old at that point, and I decided to take care of myself for the first time in my life. And there was a massage salon next to the apartment where we were in. And it was a very humble place. But I knew I had to go to this one, specifically this one. But what I did not know is that the lady was also doing energy work because I did not know anything about energy work. And so every week I would treat me with a massage. And this is when I started to remember my past lives. I was like, oh my God, this is not a dream. I would have a full HD movie for 1 hour. So I remember my first past life, my first incarnation on this planet was a plant, a lily of the valley. It was very clear from the seed to the growth to the season where it dies. It was amazing. And this happened 10 times during massages in different sessions. So with this massage session, we would do Nepalese rituals because the lady was trained in Nepal with monks. She's actually a certified priestess, certified, I don't know the terminology for this, but she's done all the process. And so we would do breath work, we would do meditations. There was a full process involved, and I took it very, very seriously. I was doing my meditation every day. I got completely addicted to meditation. So I was meditating between 3 to 5 hours a day. She was even amazed that I could do this. She said, "Oh my God, how do you get so much focus?" I said, "I don't know. I have it in me." And it was very, it was also a way to escape my problems, I suppose, but I was in peace. And during some meditation, I started seeing things. The first thing I saw was actually Buddha, and she did not believe me. I saw Buddha. She believed me later. This one of the first vision I got, and that was very impressive. I was like, "Oh my God, the guy looks like Buddha," but I did not know we could ask questions to the guides. Now I realized it was like guides. So I never asked anything. So that was it. And I continued my practice of meditation. And then eventually, when people were touching my body, shaking a hand or so giving a hug, something like this, I would see like little emojis on their body, like representing their mood. I was like, what was this? A little emoji. So that was very interesting. So I just embraced the journey that I could start to see things. It's like I was not afraid and I was very curious about what it was. So I tried to investigate. Then we had to go back to France, and my wife was sick for many, many, many years, like more than 10 years, and nobody could figure out what she had. And we decided to do a protocol like the lady at the massage salon. I said, let's just do energetic healing. Let's just make something up. And I did breath of fire on her belly, actually. And we were laughing so hard because I was like on her belly because she had digestion issues. She had so many problems. She could not breathe. She was getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And I got a flash of what was inside her body. I saw a first picture. I was like, oh my God, what is that? I knew it was something. I did not know what it was. And then a few seconds later, I received the second one. And I went on Google and I don't exactly remember what I typed, but I typed exactly the precise query that displayed Google images, and the first picture that was in the result was actually my visual. And it was a parasite. It was called ankylostoma. And it's eating your tissues from the inside, and the parasite started eating her lungs, and this is why she could not breathe. And we got very, very lucky because this was during a lockdown episode. And we did an online appointment with a doctor, and they did not ask for any blood tests, stool tests. They just say, we never heard of this, but we believe you. It was so weird that they just believed us like this. And they gave us a prescription for the medicine. And then my wife was healed. So that was actually the first time I saw inside a human body like this. That was absolutely incredible. So I did not know that this profession existed, obviously, at the time.
You went to massage energy work, and that was
Yes.
the first time that your monkey mind stopped and you added meditation to that. Is that correct? Did I understand that right?
Well, the first time the monkey mind stopped was during a specific guided meditation. I reached that point only once in France for 20 seconds. I did not know what it was. I was surrounded by light. I was like in the sun. And then when I went to this massage place, it was almost every time. I don't know if the lady does it, but she can get you to this place every time on demand, I would guess. Now I understand more about energy. I realize it's easier in a group when you are with somebody who is really experienced. They can bring you to the zone way quicker. And I was very open to being in the zone. And also I had no expectation because I did not know this world existed. So I was not expecting.
Right. That's what makes it so profound, because when you tried it on your wife, let's just have fun, try it, try what I know now. And then you discovered through image and then typing it into Google, finding the same image on Google, going to a doctor and say, this is what my wife has. And they just give you a prescription. I think that's great. No high ticket blood tests or anything like that. And that's what cured it. So there's a bunch of different things that happened in a line. And I think the synchronicity of that was like a God spark. to have
It was
everything
orchestrated.
just, yeah. So you can have some real momentum towards your goal. And I'm sure your wife is very supportive.
Yes.
That's good. That's wonderful. So what happened next? I'll let you go. I just wanted to highlight that part because when people who are listening here, I'm just going to talk to my audience now, is that one step will give you a signpost for the next step and the next step. And you're on the right path because there will be a revelation. There will be something, a revelation. And if you pay attention to that, the next step is so profoundly clear, I think. So, and this is what you did because you were like a dark night of the soul. You came and thought, I don't like it here, so I'm going to go over here, even though I don't know what here means. And so you followed the God spark right along. So I'm going to let you continue. I'm kind of curious about what the next steps were.
Yes, so I took a total leap of faith. I continued to go to energy healing and massage. I wanted to see what would happen if I would, what people say, get completely clean energetically. And I played the game completely. But I went really overboard because I would get 10 hours of session a week. I would do everything. I would do binaural sounds in the evening, meditation, stretching. So I'm not talking about yoga, super fancy yoga. I would do like just stretching poses because I realized that when you stretch, you remove the trauma from your nervous system. That really helped me tremendously. And this is those 3 years process. So it's not a quick process. Just so people realize I really put the work in. I did everything. I went to work outside in nature, barefoot, meditated. My longest meditation was 9 hours. I really put the work in. It's not magic. And then during a lockdown episode, my wife and I, we decided to do a Reiki training online. So we bought a course. And we said, okay, let's do this. We'll see what happens. And when you do Reiki level 1, you have a 21-day self-Reiki where you have to do it on yourself. And I had like access to the Akashic records for my own past lives. And I would see like things that happened. I was like, oh my God, what is this? I had full HD movies in my head. It was incredible. So we did this. When the lockdown was lifted and we had some friends at home and they wanted to see what energy healing was about. So we said, well, let's just make a session and we'll see. So it's a guy, he's an executive in Germany and he's limping actually. He's been limping for all his life. And I do a session on him and I see a movie in my head and the man is like, oh, he's screaming. Oh, and he says, I taste blood in my mouth. He says, what's happening? And then he has tears like dripping on his eyes. He says, I don't know why I have tears, but I'm not sad. And I said, oh my God, I see the past life. I know why you taste the blood in your mouth. It's because you kicked a guy in the head in a past life. And I would see this movie in my head. But what was very strange is that I was not traumatized. I would see it from a place of neutrality and love. This was very strange for me. I was like, whoa. It's like because I would see that on TV, I would be shocked. But here I was like, this is very strange. I was in a different state of mind. So we finished the session and the guy gets off the massage table. He does not limp anymore. Honestly, it was incredible. It was like, what just happened? It's like, I'm not limping anymore. That was absolutely incredible.
Wow. So let me, I'm going to interject here and say to you, and the Akashic record is an impeccable storehouse of facts. You lived here, you went to school there, you died there. I have discovered that people who claim to go into the Akashic records and read for others, past life, and then they invoke a lot of emotion. Emotion isn't in the Akashic records. It's just facts. So you were actually in the records for sure.
Oh,
and
yes.
If you start moving into emotion, then you've lost I don't know where you are, but you're lost the record because there's a different system, or this incarnation, a different system we use that will tell you how you felt when you lived there or went to school there, how you felt when you died there, that type of thing. That's a different system outside the Akashic record. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you mentioned that before, and I thought that is a really good point for anybody who wants to learn about the Akashic records and move into that. So you are the genuine guy. That's wonderful. Okay, I'll let you talk now.
So, other story, I had a woman with fibroid, actually. This one is pretty incredible. This is a case that made me believe in energy. Really, I don't know you say that in English, but in French we say finish the nail with the hammer. It's like the last nail. So I did a Reiki session on her. So I only knew Reiki at the time because I was beginning. But I made a mistake, and my hand touched her belly. And the energy of the fibroid shot through my hand, and I actually had a burn mark in my hand, really a burn. It was burning. I was like, I was in pain, and I lost my eyesight for 2 minutes, and that was absolutely incredible. I was completely blind. I was just seeing red. I was like, what's happening? I have super mega pain in my hand. And then I received some sort of message in my ear. I don't exactly remember how it was. Go outside in the garden, touch a stone. We have a big stone in the garden. And I touched it, and I could feel this discharge of energy in the ground. And my eyesight changed color, it became green. And then it said, go run your hand under cold water. And oh my God, this is Archangel Raphael. I don't know how I came up with that. Honestly, I did not know Archangel Raphael, but just was put in my mind like this. And then I come back to the lady, and I'm starting to receive visuals on top of her body, like when there is a sign language person in the newspaper, so in the corner of the screen, if you want. I had I was seeing mudras, and they were saying, if you do this type of work with hands-on healing, you have to do mudras, so the energy doesn't shoot for your hand, it shoots through the holes you create with your fingers. And this was unbelievable. Honestly, this was unbelievable, and that really made me believe that energy was real. That day, it was like, for me, the revelation. The fact that there was a physical mark on this was incredible. So I continued my journey, and I was very, very curious. I went to see many, many healers, the best healers I could find in France, in Portugal, in the US, with my level of budget, of course. The best I could find. Honestly, I went on forums, I did some research. And they all said the same thing. They said, Patrice, this is incredible because you are not afraid and you are embracing your journey. And that's true. I was completely embracing your journey. It was so fascinating for me. I had no fear, zero fear. I knew where I needed to go, what I needed to explore. And this was a beautiful journey. And then I said, does this work remotely? So this is when I tried to find people to do it remotely. It was actually very difficult, even with free sessions. People would tell me, with what energy do you work? Why is it free? It's like, when it's free, there's something wrong, So that was very weird for me. And eventually I found a forum, and I found 10 people who agreed to play the game. So I said, don't tell me what you have. Don't tell me your name. I just use the nickname of the forum. Don't tell me if you're a man or a woman. And I tried to meditate here in my room to get information about their cases, and I could not get anything. But then what happened next was incredible. For the first person, I received a full HD lucid dream. It's like if you've done medicinal plants like ayahuasca or magic mushrooms, it's that level of resolution with colors that don't exist in this 3D world. But I was navigating inside the body. I could see everything, the bones, the lungs, everything. And I could see the disease, so if it was physical or energetical. And sometimes I could see some energies who came to work on the body of the person. And the next day, I would say, this is what I saw. So I would describe with my vocabulary, because I'm not a medical doctor. I did not know much about diseases at the time. So you have a problem with your lungs, or you have a problem with your nervous system, or your foot. And people would say, yes, this is exactly what I have. The word you are using, they really spoke to the people. It's like every time the words they really speak to them. This is very interesting. I don't know how the language comes to me, but they really understand what I'm saying. And very often, not always, I want to be very clear about this, some people would heal miraculously, their condition would disappear. So if they were limping, it was gone. I had a kid with a lung disease. His lung disease disappeared after a few days. That was mind-blowing. Honestly, that was mind-blowing. And the quality of dreams, I think it's Edgar Cayce who could do this. I cannot even explain to the audience because this is so surreal. It's like nobody would believe me. It's like a full HD X-ray or MRI in 3D, and you're in the body of the person. It's absolutely incredible. So this is where I was in my journey, and sorry.
Wow. I am so very impressed. And thank you for taking us on the journey itself, because it gives people a pattern of what, and if you are listening to Patrice and you're saying all the work he put in, I'd really like to do it too. Believe me, when you're on a path like that, you are shown where to go next. And there's an impulse and there's a momentum, because you are needed in this way on earth at this time. So if you have an interest, spark an interest, just move down that pathway and see the higher octaves pick you up and place you into a situation that would help. So I have a few questions, Patrice, if you don't mind. How long did it take you between beginning your meditation practice and realizing the gifts you received? And in your story, it felt like you said 3 years, but
Yeah,
it's shorter than that.
I would say between 2.5 to 3 years. I did not keep track of the dates, unfortunately, because I was so excited by the journey. I just went for it completely. I even left my 3D job on the side. I said, no, I cannot do this anymore. I need to do something useful for mankind.
Good.
That's where I was at. It was like, yeah, this is me. This is what I need to do.
That's awesome. And
but it was very dense work. It's not like
yeah.
I really meditated every day, did everything, yoga, I did breath work also. Breath work is extremely powerful. Rituals, I went to get cleaned by Reiki personnel, shamans. I did the full trip.
Can you give us an example of breath work, the breath work you use?
So I use actually a scientific one. I don't know if I can say a brand here.
Let's do it.
It's like pranayama. It's from Yoga Body. It's a guy in Barcelona, and he uses scientific facts to prove that breath work works. And it's very simple. And sometimes it's like you breathe in for 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You breathe out for 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. But you do rounds like this. There's rounds where you hold your breath for a long time. Because in fact, what's happening, it's all about CO2 tolerance. If you can increase your CO2 tolerance, actually the CO2 is a vasodilatator. So you can increase the blood vessel size, the dilate in your brain, and you get more blood flow and more oxygen gets to your cells. And this is why breath work is so important.
So it's deep breathing, holding, releasing.
Yes. And so in the morning you do fast breathing, like what's called breath of fire. So it's like very fast like this, but you do it only in the morning, because if you do it at night, you don't sleep. And,
that's good to know.
It's as powerful as a coffee cup. Honestly, it's that powerful. It gives you the energy of a coffee cup.
Wow.
And slower patterns and square breathing. For example, you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 4, and you hold for 4 again. But you do this on 20 rounds. So this is very challenging for your body at the beginning. But then you get used to it, and it increases your concentration. It's very good for everything, for your breathing, your health. It's a magnificent technology. I've used it on my dad, who had like high blood pressure. I think it's the US. It's like 100, and he had 180 over 130. He said, Patrice, the doctor wants to put me in the hospital. What am I going to do? So we're going to do breath work for 2 weeks. 10 days later, you had 130 over 70. No medicine.
All with breath work. Oh, wow. That's empowering. Yes. I've heard of pranayama, and it's very powerful. But breath work, I need to get more breath work, because I will get concentrating on things and I just don't breathe. Editing a video or preparing a script or something like that. It's just, I lose myself. But thank you for that. And Now, when did you actually start your practice of being because you have a regular practice now? You take clients. Everything is in the show notes, the links to his website where you can schedule. And he's so nice, everyone. I got to tell you, he lives in France. And when you schedule, it's on your time, and he'll just stay up. Because on his time, it's very, very late. What time is it there now? It's because it's 10:30 Pacific now in the morning.
It's 7:30 p.m. Yeah, I do evening sessions for California. So
that's wonderful.
I do morning sessions for Australians also because we have the same problem.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So you are an international medical intuitive working all hours of the day and night.
So I started in January, actually. I built my website in January. It's very simple. I wanted to put authenticity in my website. So it's just text and a picture. But people love it. They say, oh God, this is finally a website without commercials and marketing behind. There's so much authenticity. This is what I want to be. I want to be authentic as possible. I don't want to lie to people. I don't want to do the marketing guy. I want to be me, and I think this is key for people who want to do this type of energy work or overwork for success. I think the future is for authentic people. Honestly, this makes a huge difference, and you meet people in your vibration. So this is a completely different relationship with your clients. It's absolutely incredible compared to my previous job before. It was more about marketing and things like this.
Right. I have a hard time with marketing myself. Mainly because I hate to get emails that ask me to join, that, what do they call it, drip system, where you get them every day. I have an email list, a fairly big email list that I never use because I hate it myself. So we will just on my, we are the lighthouses. Lighthouses don't run all over the island looking for boats to save. They just stand in one place and shine. I forget who said that. It certainly wasn't me, but that's what I believe in. Thank you for that. There's another question here. What do you say with a person, what do you say to people who reply that they don't find relief through your service? My sense was when I felt an impulse to ask you this, because that's it's a good question, I think, is that if there is a physical challenge that a person is written into their soul's blueprint, then I'm assuming that has to be who you are. But can you explain what you would say?
Which is a very good question. I haven't had a case. I believe people find me because they need me. Since I don't do marketing, I get the right person who I can help. This is very strange. This was very strange to me. Actually, I met many mediums on my way to today, and they told me, Patrice, do nothing, just wait, people will find you. And I believed them. I don't know why. It's like this message resonated in me. I'm like, I'm going to do exactly this. I'm going to do nothing. And people found me. And it's like mostly everybody who finds me, I can help them. The effect is not always instant. Sometimes it is. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. I'm not going to make stuff up. When it's instant, it's magical. When people's pain goes away or their trauma disappears and they don't hear voices in their head, it's absolutely magical. I believe some things take a long time to heal. I have two cases. This is not a very painful disease, but I have two ladies with eczema. They were one of my first patients, so it was like in June or July, I believe. One brought to me last week. Eczema is gone, so it faded away, but it took a long time. So she had it since she was born. So she's like in her 40s now, and she's like, "Oh my God, it changed my life. I know it's you. I don't know what you did." Sometimes it takes a long time. What I don't know if people need several sessions, for example, this I don't know yet because most people don't come back because their problem is solved. So I don't know.
Awesome.
And then if there's just the random fact of life. Let's say you have a liver problem, but you continue to eat 1 kilo of candy a day. I cannot help you. I can
Well, yeah.
try to help your liver. Well, not help. I mean, it's not me. I don't know exactly how it works. Helpers, angels, or whoever.
Right.
But if you don't
Right.
change your lifestyle, that does not work either. So it's like more like of a push in. Let's say you are a cyclist and you're going uphill and pushing you in the back. I can give you help, but you still need to change your lifestyle for certain things.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Now, I did prepare a second question that I liked your, I think I'm going to like your answer. Once you clear the physical block and restriction, does a problem return?
That hasn't happened yet because I'm too new in this job. I'm not going to lie either. I hope not. I honestly, now that I know more about energy work, I would say no, because I know what the cause of most diseases here is. Sorry. I know it's from past lives, most of them. That's what Buddhists say. I actually read that 3 weeks ago in a magazine. They say Buddhists say that 80% of diseases are issued from past lives. And if we clear the past life, why would they come back? So we cannot help. There's still 20% of people we cannot help because it's a different case. I know that sometimes I see people, it's not a past life. I know something happens too. It's a very different way of working when it's not from a past life, because I can see it.
Patrice, when we were preparing for this this video, you had mentioned that people have new skills or new abilities after a treatment. Would you be able to expand on that?
Yes. Okay. So this is quite new. It has happened since 2 months ago, I would say. I do the session on people. And the first time that happens, I had to ask a woman to watch her hand. I don't know why. I said, look, watch your hand for 1 minute. And she did, and she was focused. And she said, oh my God, what is this? I see colors around my hand. And I told her, you can see auras now. I don't know why I said that, honestly. I cannot see auras myself. And that just came out of my mouth like this. And then she looked at the screen and she says, oh my God, there is light around you. And this is the first time that happened. Sometimes people activate their gifts, and this is absolutely insane. So I had like 3 or 4 people activate auras. I have many, many people who start to activate their clairvoyance. They receive pictures. And they say, oh my God, I have a message from your guides for you, Patrice. And they think they're crazy. I said, no, you're not crazy. What is it? So they tell me the message, but I know it's true because it resonates in my skin. And then other people in the next sessions, they repeat exactly the same message, word for word. So I know it's true. They cannot make this up. So I don't know if this happens. Something happens during the session. There's like a heavy activation that's happening. And people get to see auras. They get their clairvoyance. I had one lady who channeled at the end. This happened once. She started channeling.
That's amazing. That is just amazing. So does this happen spontaneously? It sounds like it happens spontaneously. Or do people grow it? Like the next day they come up and come back and say it? Or is it just always spontaneous?
So it has always been spontaneous during the session for now.
Okay.
I do not explain it. I don't know how this happens. It's just a surprise every time, but it's a very beautiful surprise and it's a good time.
That's what I love about you. Everything is just such a fresh new surprise, and you're honest by saying, I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Have a session. Let's see. So that's wonderful. So that's amazing. It's just wonderful. So thank you for coming on and explaining all this. You are a very interesting person, and I really appreciate knowing you and having you as a friend. I would like to now if you could tell my audience how they can support you and how they can take advantage, take advantage of your services. And also, everyone, I'm going to have all the links in the show notes so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so but you have a couple of things you can offer people right now. So I'm going to let you go and share that with us.
Okay, so how you can support me? The first thing I would like you to do is be kind to yourself. This is the best way you could support yourself, actually. Be kind to yourself before being kind to others. You can be kind to others, of course, but be kind to yourself first. This is key in your recovery. And this is actually very, very hard to do, to take care of ourselves, because it took me 50 years to take care of myself. This is very important. And how you can support me, you can put a comment on this video, for example. This is a very good way to support me. You can go on my website, book a session, and also every Saturday I have group sessions that are very, very cheap, where I do a full protocol that clears a lot of past lives and other things that can help you on your journey. So you will feel more relaxed, less stressed, and there will be a lot of clearing. That's it. That is very simple.
Today is November 9th, 2023, and Patrice's first group session is in a couple of days. So it'll be 11/11. So please check that out. It's at a special price this time because it is the first. So if you're able to move into that and get a general dose of Patrice's healing ability, which is quite profound, I'll say. So I wish you well, and we'll keep in touch. And thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.